someone who always says, "Man, you should have seen me when I was in high school. Man, you remember this thing that happened? You remember that?" That problem is they're living in the past. High school was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But if we keep our attention focused on what was, it stops us from being able to enjoy what currently is. If you're too busy holding on to the past, you can't enjoy the present moment. And you may be asking yourself, well, Lawrence, how do I stop holding on to the past so that I can enjoy the present moment? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me draw this out for you. So, here's how most people's life typically goes. You have the time that you are born in high school, etc. You have your adult years and you have your elderly years. So this is from 0 to 18. This is from 18 to, let's just say, 50. And this is from 50 to 80. The problem that most people have is they're always living based on this. So they're allowing 0 to 18 to control 19 to 80. You see the problem here? Because you can imagine someone who your high school girlfriend cheated on you. So now, when you're an adult, you start cheating on people because of something that happened when you were 15 years old. You see how silly that sounds? Because in my experience, when I was 15 years old, my girlfriend cheated on me. And I could have said, oh, I'm just going to start cheating on people and become a problem too because somebody hurt me. But instead, I said, okay, that sucks. That was inconvenient. But instead of becoming a problem, how about instead I become a solution? Instead of becoming like the people who hurt us, we can instead become the opposite of that. And because maybe you got bullied. I did. Instead of becoming a bully, how about we give love to people that we wish that we would have gotten when we were younger? Instead of hurting the world, how about instead we help it? And when we're so busy focused on the past, it stops us from enjoying the present moment and our future. It's like driving a car, looking behind you, and then you crash into a bus because you're not paying attention to what's right in front of you. And if you also think about this even deeper too, we will have relationships, friendships, job opportunities, business ideas. We'll just have things happen in our life, but we get stuck thinking about the time when it went wrong. And because we're so focused on the past when it went wrong, we stop ourselves from even trying to get to a future where it can be better. So you might be asking yourself the question, well, Lawrence, why do people do this? Why do people drive their car looking in the rearview mirror? The reason why is emotional ties. What did that mean? Growing up, you may have come from a bad home environment. You may have gotten bullied. You may have grown up in poverty. You may have had something happen that was bad. And I'm just going to use bad examples because they get the point across so easily. You have a lot of emotions there. When it comes to something like money, you may think, oh, well, rich people are evil because growing up, that's what your parents told you. Maybe you think that it's hard to make money. None of my family is successful. I can't make any money because mom and dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, everyone around me grew up in poverty, so I'm just going to be stuck here. That's an emotional tie. That is an emotion that you feel very deeply, and it ties you to the past. It keeps you, it's like a chain around your ankle that stops you from moving forward because you're weighed down by the past. And until we cut that emotional chain, we can't move forward because we're always dragging this invisible weight behind us. So, how do we cut the emotional chain so that we can be free from the past and start moving forward? The way you do this in its simplest form is you just acknowledge, yeah, it happened. The past happened. That was real. You grew up in poverty. You got bullied. Your girlfriend cheated on you. That happened. But it's not happening right now. And if it is happening right now, it doesn't have to happen forever. The present moment is only right now. It's not forever. The past is gone. The past is an imaginary replay in your head. That's how you can think of it. It's as if you are watching a movie and the movie is playing and you're thinking about the start of the movie. You're thinking about 10 minutes ago, and 10 minutes ago was the past. We're on a different scene now. But if we keep replaying the past, we're just going to keep building and building and building. And the same thing happens in the good way, which is what I really want to get into. The past can be something that we learn from. We can look at our lessons, we can look at the issues, we can look at the trials and tribulations, the cheating, the breakups, the bad relationships, the home environment, the financial situation, we had bad grades. We can look at all the things that were challenging, and instead of allowing them to push us down, we can use it to build us up. How do we do that? You look at the situation and ask yourself, what can I learn from that? Okay, girlfriend cheated on me. What can I learn from this? Well, I can learn that she just wasn't the right person for me. I can also learn, was there anything that, maybe I did to contribute to that? Was I being neglectful? Was I being a bad boyfriend? No, I wasn't. Okay, so what I learned from that is I can move on. What I learned from that is just because one person hurt me doesn't mean that everyone does. Just because one bad thing happens doesn't mean that your life is just going to be bad forever. And that's easier said than done, because there are some very bad things that happen to people completely out of their control. But what we can do is remind ourselves the past is the past. The present is the present. The future will be the future. And the less emotion that we give to something, the more it kind of starves it out. Your thoughts are built on emotions. So you have a belief about something, and that belief causes a thought, and that thought triggers feelings. Now, if you allow yourself to keep adding your feelings to the past, it's going to keep building it up. And where this gets really challenging is you may have had a lot of bad relationships in the past, but now you meet somebody and they're good for you. They're kind, they're sweet, they're respectful, they're considerate. And this is what happens. The good thing comes into your life. You get that man, that woman you like, that person who you're like, man, I really like this one. This one is good. And I'll use the green marker for this. You have the good thing happen. So you have an event over here. We'll write good in that box. Now, here comes the past. This person's so sweet and they're so good and I love them and they love me and they're supportive and we do fun things together. But the past comes and says, oh, but you remember this? You remember that? What if this one lied to you too? What if this one cheated too? What if? And the past causes us to lose sight of the good, because we see the good thing right now, but but what if? What if? Yeah, that job said that they hired me, but what if? You have this good thing happen in your life. You get some extra money, you start a business, but you remember what mom and dad said growing up? You remember what the people who bullied you said growing up? You remember your girlfriend from when you were 15 years old? You remember this? You remember that? But here's the thing. You're remembering. You are remembering that. A member is a part of your body. So your arm, your leg, your head, these are members of your body. To remember is to reconnect with. So when we are remembering the past, we are reconnecting to the past. It's like a part of you that was, you're bringing that to now. And when we're thinking about our memories and thoughts happen, naturally, you're going to remember stuff like you had a bad relationship, you had a good relationship, you had someone say something nice, you had someone say something mean to you. If you go back to my previous video called Accept or Reject, in that video, I talk about how you have the power to decide, do I want to accept what that person said or that situation, or do I want to reject it? Do I want to allow it in, or do I want to keep it out? And in that video, I break down how the thing that we allow in and the thing that we allow to influence us cause us to feel certain ways and believe certain things. And as I said earlier, because our beliefs create our thoughts and that creates our feelings, we need to be very mindful of what we allow in, because what we allow in will influence us, will influence our beliefs. And I know that when you have a really bad past, you have a lot of things that happen to you, it's really common that your brain starts setting off the alarm bells. Now, the reason it does this is deep down, it's just trying to keep you safe. I know how backwards it may sound that your brain is reminding you of a bad thing to keep you safe, but the way it works is, from your brain's perspective, it knows this. It knows this happened. But when a good thing comes along, it doesn't know this. This is outside the norm. This is unfamiliar. You're used to bad relationships. You're used to not having money. You're used to bad opportunity. You're used to this. You're not used to this. And the way we get used to this is by getting familiar with it. When the thoughts come up that says, "Oh, you remember when your ex-girlfriend cheated on you? You remember when your ex-boyfriend did this? You remember what your mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle said? You remember what the people who bullied you said growing up?" When those thoughts come up, you say, "Yes, that happened. It's not happening. That happened. It's not happening. That is the past. This is the present. And I don't have to bring the past into the present." Now, you have to look at the past. You have to heal that. You have to acknowledge that happened. That was real. But I don't have to allow it to keep controlling me. And one of the best ways to get rid of not get rid of, but one of the best ways to stop being so controlled by the past is forgive people. I know it's hard, trust me. I had to forgive people who have treated me some terrible ways. But the way we forgive people is we simply allow ourselves to let go of all those emotional ties. Maybe for you, you need to forgive your ex for cheating on you. Why would I forgive them for doing that? So that you don't have to keep walking around with all that anger and hatred in your heart. You might be mad at people from 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And in our heart and in our emotions, we feel like, yeah, they need to feel the way I feel. Yeah, but they treated me bad. Yeah, but they did this. Okay, yes, that happened. And it's okay that you felt that way, but if we keep holding on to the past, it stops us from enjoying the future. You might meet somebody who is really good for you, but because you're so focused on somebody else cheated on you, somebody else wasted your time, somebody else did this to you, it stops you from truly enjoying the person right in front of you. Another example, a job opportunity. You might see a job that says, "We're hiring. We're paying $50 an hour. No degree required. Just submit your resume." And you won't, because in the back of your head, you start thinking about, well, when I was growing up, we didn't have much money, and mom and dad told me that there's no way that we're going to make it out and this and that. And you just are living based on the past. And because you're living based on the past, it keeps you from a better future financially. Same thing goes with relationships. You might think that because growing up, people treated you badly, nobody wanted to be your friend, people disrespected you, you allowed the past to keep you from making friends in the present. And the past was 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. And this is the sort of stuff that when you talk to people or you read books about people who are like really elderly and they're on their deathbed, one of the things they often say is, I wish I would have lived more. I wish I would have lived more. Let those words sink in. I'm 85 years old, and I wish I would have lived more. I wish I would have stopped being so focused on the past and enjoyed the present. I wish I wouldn't have let the fears and the worries and insecurities of my childhood keep me from enjoying my adulthood. I wish I would have lived more. And when we keep staying a prisoner to the past, we stop ourselves from living in the present. And daily, when you notice those thoughts come out that says, oh, but good things don't happen to us. People like us don't succeed. Nobody believes in us. When I was growing up, people bullied me. My girlfriend cheated on me. You just remind yourself, that's the past. That's the past. Yes, that happened. Girlfriend cheated on you. You got bullied. People made fun of you. You grew up in poverty. When you were growing up, you didn't have food in the refrigerator. It happened. That is true. But it doesn't have to stay true. The past is just a replay. The past is like rewatching a movie. And you have a 2-hour movie and you just keep replaying the first 30 minutes. So because you keep replaying the first 30 minutes over and over, you never get to see how good the rest of the movie is. Or you meet somebody and you're so focused on that, oh, when I was 15, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever, your girlfriend cheated on you. So you keep focused on, my girlfriend cheated on me, my girlfriend cheated on me, my girlfriend cheated on me. So it stops you from finding the people who won't cheat on you. Because you're so focused on what was, it stops you from enjoying what is and creating something that will be. And the present creates our future. And it's kind of complicated to explain this, but your past is just the result of the past of that. Let me draw it out for you. So your past, let me get this. Your past is the result of something that you did. So that creates this. Then this creates this. And then this creates this over and over and over and over. So what we do last year created this, created this, created this, created this, created this. So if you want to have a better future, you have to start taking action, changing your thoughts and changing your beliefs now so that your future will be better. It's so simple, but it's so challenging to do because we allow our emotions to keep us tied back there. We allow the past to stop us from getting to the future because we keep replaying the old movie. We keep replaying the past, we keep replaying the first 30 minutes, and it stops us from enjoying the full movie. So, what's the action point for this video? Put simply, when you notice your thoughts saying, yeah, but this person seems good, but so did this other person, but they cheated on me. When, you get an opportunity, you get a job, you make some money, your grades are improving. Yeah, but, I'm not smart. I can't do it. When I was growing up, people made fun of me. Nobody wanted to be my friend. You say to yourself, that was the past. That was the past. This is the present, and my present will create a better future. And it's up to you to realize that you don't have to stay a prisoner to your past. You don't have to keep allowing the emotions and the baggage and the fears and the worries and the doubts and the insecurities of your past to keep you a prisoner. You don't have to stay a prisoner to your past. You can take the key, unlock it, let the emotions fade, and with time, you'll start moving forward. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a good one.